Not often do we see the Delran Bears in an afternoon habitat, but today, November 1st, presents an interesting opportunity for such, as it's the Delran Bears and the Overbrook Rams facing off in the first round of the South Jersey Group 2 playoffs here from Joseph Chinichi Stadium. I'm Dan Wilkins. We welcome you to a sunny November Saturday as Halloween was last night. And, well, we finally get to cap off what will be a fantastic weekend for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. 4 games in 4 counties. We were in Middlesex County on Wednesday in Edison. We were in Gloucester County on Thursday night. We were in Salem County on Friday night. And today we wrap up the weekend in Delran for our second time seeing the Bears this year. Of course, Delran 8-1. They've been having a fantastic regular season. Their only loss to Burlington Township in late September, one of the top teams in the state of New Jersey. They knocked off Timber Creek 18-8 last night. But the good thing for South Jersey Group 2 fans is that 3 of the 4 games in your bracket get decided today. The only other one that was already decided was the 1v8 game, and that was pretty much going to be a guarantee anyway. But today, Camden Eastside and West Deptford, and then the other game in your bracket, Gloucester and Lower Cape May, those are both being played at noon today. So you can kind of go with a try box to see who is playing what and what your scores are, depending on what fan you are. But for Overbrook, this is going to be an interesting clash between 2 teams that really don't have any history. Overbrook's got the short quarterback, Tariq Moore, and I don't mean that in a mean way. He's a very mobile quarterback who's able to really take direct snaps very well, and we've seen that in Overbrook's offense this year. They've been able to really run a very varied option offense. Meanwhile, Delran goes with a lot of strengths in numbers. You've got Vinny Sacca, who can throw the ball downfield, and he's got a lot of people he can look forward to. The only guy that Delran's missing today is middle linebacker Jack Jordan, who has a broken finger. But the only other thing for Delran is that Vinny Sacca has thrown a decent amount of interceptions this year. Overbrook's got a fantastic defensive back core, and it'll be interesting to see how these 2 teams duke it out in the 6-3 game for South Jersey Group 2. Of course, we've had 3 exciting games this week, and we now close out the weekend with another frigid Saturday afternoon here in Delran. Fans filing in here at Joseph Chinichi Stadium. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Ryan Sieber this afternoon on the call. We hope you guys have a wonderful one. We'll be right back after this, after a quick break. A winding national anthem from the Delran sophomore Kai Carr. And we mentioned it on Twitter this weekend, but this is the first time Delran is hosting a Saturday home game in 10 years, since November 11th, 2015, when they hosted Somerville in a consolation round. But in Colin Huco's third year as Delran's head coach, he has certainly been impressive. From winning 2 games in his first season to in year number 2 having a similar year to this one, only losing to Burlington Township and winning their first playoff game at home as well versus Delaware Valley. They come in versus a more home opponent, as in a more familiar opponent. Pine Hill is a little bit closer than Delaware Valley Regional High School. But Overbrook will come out, and Delran in their brown day game jerseys will come out and get this one started. For Delran, they split the season pretty evenly. 4-0 to start, then a loss in week 5, and then 4 straight wins to close out the year. They ended with a 38-7 win over Morristown. Overbrook with Frank Wilczynski, they're 6-3. They've lost to Collingswood, Paulsboro, and West Deptford. And as we mentioned, no prior history dating back to 2010 versus the Delran Bears. Delran will kick this one off. Overbrook will receive to open up the ball game. Today here in Delran, 56 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Wind is blowing to the west at 14 miles an hour. 48 minutes of WJFL Group 2 football between a versatile program like Overbrook and a strong program like Delran. It's the Bears and the Rams, the fans filing in with Halloween candy still left over from last night. It's a beautiful day for some football, some rare daytime football at Joseph Chinichi Stadium. We're underway. Shane Polena with the kick. It rolls out to the right side. Overbrook will return, and he gets blown up and gets taken down inside the 20-yard line, and that's where the Rams will start for Tariq Moore. Tariq Moore has had a fantastic senior season, but he has not passed the ball nearly as much as he did as a junior. He had 1,002 passing yards in his junior season with 115 passes, but in his junior season, 36 for 67. He's been a still efficient passer. Don't get me wrong, 36 for 67 still equates to 54%, but only 508 passing yards, almost half what he did in his junior campaign. Still got time to change that, though. Six TDs, 3 interceptions, and 776 yards on the ground. 1st and 10, Moore with a handoff to Axel Bailey on the right side, and Axel Bailey finds some room for a first down. He gets pushed out around midfield, and how about a 28-yard gain for Axel Bailey, who picks up the first down on the first play from scrimmage for Overbrook. Bailey with 1,100 rushing yards as a junior. He'll be coming back for 2026 with Frank Wilczynski. 131 rushing attempts, 1,157 rushing yards. He's got 2,111 in his career, and 28 total rushing touchdowns, in addition to 3 receiving touchdowns. So 31 touchdowns across all purposes of the field. Trips left for Tariq Moore. Hands off to Bailey again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That was a 25-yard rush on the first play. This time Bailey gets held for only 2 yards. Joel Grimshaw, the sophomore, picked up the tackle that time. 2nd and 7. Lined up at the 48-yard line again. This is the first time that Delran's hosted a day game since 2015. Trips left again. They hand it off. It's Moore keeps it. He'll get stopped short of a first. It'll be 3rd down and short now.
Tackled by number 55, Sam De Silva, and number 28, Giovanni Marshall.
De Silva had the tackle that time.
3rd down. We'll call it 3.
Line to gain is at the 45. Fairly windy today, but not as bad as it was last night in Pennsville in a game that was a thriller. Shalleck beating Pennsville 21-16 in Salem County at Lou D'Angelo Stadium. 3rd straight play of trips left for Frank Wilczynski. And Overbrook, we've got movement on the line. That will be a false start against Overbrook.
False start on the Rams.
That is a huge break for Delran. Making it a 5-yard loss. That is not an easy pill to swallow for Overbrook, considering how well they've been driving so far. But looking to change things up a little bit here. Overbrook might be looking to pass. I mean, they've got a couple of wideouts they can turn to. Among them, on the wide side, A.J. Powell. Moore takes it himself. He will get lost behind the line of scrimmage. Tackle led by Anthony Yates, the senior linebacker. 4th down and 10. Overbrook right back where they started at their own 45.
Number 6, Micah Davison, back to receive for the Bears.
Micah Davison back to receive. Overbrook to punt. Failing to get anything going on their first drive. That punt was almost blocked. It's a short punt, picked up on one hop by Alex Connard. Excuse me. Looks like Marshall Edwards was on the return that time. Delran will start their first drive of the night from the 25. And of course, Vinny Sacca. The Sacca family is a household name in Delran. Of course, Tony Sacca, I believe his uncle was a starter at Penn State in the early 90s, was a 2nd-round draft pick by the Phoenix Cardinals in 1992. But Sacca, talking about Vinny Sacca, 6'1" senior, 3,121 passing yards in his career this season. He just needs 40 yards to match his total from his junior campaign of 1258. He comes into this one with 1218, 78 for 136, 14 TDs, and 5 interceptions. We do have, looks like a penalty that brings things back here. Must have been a 10-yard penalty. It must have been called on the return. Delran's going to get knocked back to their own 15 here, and this was while Delran was in the huddle. They now break, and we've got 1st and 10 from Delran's 15, but Vinny Sacca, also a mobile quarterback, 3,100 passing yards, 1,800 yards on the ground, 60 rushes for 500 yards this season. Handoff is a fake. Sacca keeps it, bolsters his way forward with a bold shoulder as he faked the handoff to Nick Peen that time. That'll be a 1st down and a gain of 14. And just 3 minutes gone in the first quarter, a lot of time for Delran to really slow things down here. We saw last night in Pennsville. Pennsville scored their first 8 points of the game in a methodical 8-minute drive. Took a lot of time off the board and really took a lot of wind out of the sails of the Shalleck program, although they did come back to win 21-16. Point is that Delran can really slow the game down here and not really rush to get into the end zone. Sacca fakes. He double clutches. Now he's got a deep ball downfield. He's not even in an area code. Here goes the Delran Bears. Justin Murray Jr. Welcome to the end zone. Touchdown, Delran. A 73-yard touchdown to Justin Murray Jr. Oh, Mary Heavens, touchdown. I cannot believe how open Justin Mary Jr. was that time. There was nobody even within 10 yards of Justin Mary Jr. And Delran goes up 6. Polina to kick, TJ Howley to hold. This one's up, away, and good. Delran puts up 7 on a thunderous 73-yard touchdown pass to JMJ. Justin Mary Jr. will take a quick break. 8:26 left in quarter number 1 here in Delran. Welcome back to Delran. The Bears lead by 7 after a 73-yard touchdown pass to Justin Mary Jr. We talked about Vinny Sacca needing 40 passing yards to match his junior season's passing output. He did that on one play, and he now has a career high in passing yards after that one pass. Here comes the kick from Polina. About the same distance as the last kick. It'll be returned by Moore. He'll get wrapped up at around the 25. We have a flag. We have a late flag. There was a bit of a skirmish after the play. Shane Polina, the kicker, also came in for a tackle there on the far side of the field. Looks like 2 flags came down. Not sure if they're for the same infraction. See what the head ref has to say in the white cap. Again, there was one flag that came down, and then there was one that came in after Polina looked like he got in a little bit of a skirmish with an Overbrook player, or an Overbrook player got into it with Polina. There was a lot of passionate trash talk, if you will, before the game. So fouls against both teams will offset, and Overbrook will start their second drive from the 25, which is where they started their first drive, getting a 25-yard rush on the first play of the game. Actually, it doesn't look like this will offset. It looks like it will be Overbrook getting knocked back to the 15. And never mind, they're walking him back. Ref faked this out. The ref might have his Fitbit on. He might be trying to get extra steps in this morning. The ref initially walked it back, and then they spotted it where it was originally. It's actually up to the 31. Oh, that's why they don't offset, because the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty takes precedent. So it was a hold against Overbrook and an unsportsmanlike, presumably, against Polina. Moore handoff to Bailey, right side. Diving forward. Takes the line with him and gets a gain of 6, maybe 7 yards. Gets it up to about the 38-yard line. 2nd and short. Line to gain is at the 42. Overbrook in their road white jerseys. We've seen Overbrook 3 times this year. Saw them versus Pennsville on September the 12th. Saw them versus Clayton on October the 3rd. They won both games. First down, Overbrook. Back-to-back rushes to Axel Bailey. And again, this is where Overbrook and Delran's offenses are going to clash. Overbrook has a very rush-heavy offense that's going to use a combination of Tariq Moore and Axel Bailey. And Delran, you already saw the exclamation point they put on with that 73-yard passing touchdown to Justin Mary Jr. So it is going to be a difference of how are these two teams going to clash against each other and which team is going to stay more fluid against the other team's defense, because it's not really going to be a surprise what goes with what. That's a ball came out. It was short of the line of scrimmage anyway. Overbrook keeps the possession. That was a great stop by Delran that time to force a loss of 2 yards. 2nd and 12 for Overbrook.
Quarterback number 5, Tariq Moore, and running back number 1, Axel Bailey.
Again, as we mentioned in the rest of this South Jersey Group 2 bracket, the only game that has been decided as of this Saturday morning is the 1v8 game. That was Haddonfield and Willingboro. What a game that was. It's Axel Bailey over the middle. Haddonfield beat Willingboro 20-14 in a double overtime thriller. And the good thing is for Haddonfield fans, they have 3 games to watch today. They can, I mean, I don't know what Gloucester and Lower Cape May is being streamed on, and I don't know about Camden Eastside and West Deptford, but I can tell you can watch at least one of the games right now. I mean, that's a convenience, though, is that, you know, a player from Haddonfield can travel to one game and then he can go watch another game on his phone, presumably on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Axel Bailey gets stopped on 3rd down and 5. That was a great stop by the Delran defense. Anthony Yates came in with the tackle that time. It'll be 4th down and 6. Overbrook for the 2nd time and is going to bring out this punt crew. Delran has had a fantastic job of stopping Overbrook in their tracks. Even though they've gotten 1 or 2 first downs per drive, Delran has really given them the business in terms of how they've been able to really break through that O-line and dominate. This could be a block. That was very close for a 2nd time. Davison to return. That one was a better punt than last time, but this is going to be a better return than last time. He breaks free, but he gets tripped up. Wow, what groans from the crowd there as he was 1 block away from going the distance. He gets tripped up shy of midfield, lost his footing at around the 45. And Delran will take over with prime field position after the punt return by Davison. If you're just joining us, we're here at Delran High School. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ryan Sieber this afternoon. It is a brisk, a little bit windy Saturday afternoon. Again, it's a little bit weird watching Delran, and we've got another flag to bring us back. It's one of those situations where it feels weird watching a game at a place that almost always plays on Thursday or Friday nights to play a Saturday afternoon game. But Halloween really threw a wrench into the plans of pretty much every high school under the sun. And I really like how it worked out because it allowed us to really diversify the schedule. We had 3 playoff games this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And now if you played on Thursday, you get an extra day of rest if you advanced. And if you're on Saturday, I mean, you kind of sacrifice a day of rest in the next round, but you do get an extra day of rest this week. Looking at an issue on the line, Delran backing off. The ball was spotted at the 16. Looks like the ref had to re-spot the ball. 5:02 left in the first quarter. Delran backed up with another penalty after the punt return. Handoff. Looks like to Peen. Not going to get anywhere with that one. First down marker is at the 26-yard line. Yeah, big thing here for Delran is I don't think they should go with that big pass again like they did in the first drive. I mean, that was a great exclamation point, and it was a good statement. But if you do it over and over again, Overbrook is eventually going to line up that defense in a position where those wideouts are going to be as open, if they're open at all. I think that pass coverage is going to be a lot more sound now that Overbrook was exposed. I mean, they've got 2 receivers here, and they're leaving one of them open here on the, you can see on the near sideline. Although one does run in. That was a dump off to Peen. That'll be enough for a first down. Nice shovel there by Saka. It'll get up to the 27. That's enough for a Delran first down. First and 10 at the 28. That was a nice shovel there by Saka. I mean, you saw that Overbrook's defense was leaving one of those guys open, but seeing that the inner receiver was going in for a slant route that time towards the middle Overbrook kind of made the right decision to limit the amount of yards that they could have. However, it was still good enough for Delran to pick up a gain of 10 and get a first down, still deep in their own territory at their own 28. Saka in the shotgun, trips left for the third-year head coach Colin Huco. The young head coach standing on the sideline as Justin Mary Jr. gets another pass, wrapped up by 3 Overbrook defenders, but it's enough for a gain of 17, and that is a Delran first down. I mean, they are just giving everything that they can to them and more. Delran is really lighting up this Overbrook defense right now, not really giving Overbrook any chance to breathe. Every play that Overbrook seems that they have a beat on it, Delran lights them up for another 10 to 15 to 20 yards, and they keep on moving. And after one play after I call them deep in their own territory, they're only 4 yards away from crossing the midfield stripe. First and 10 from the 46. They fake the handoff. Saka has it, and he gets tripped up for a gain of 3. That was a very good read by the Overbrook defense to pick up Vinny Saka that time. Definitely think there was at least one defender that fell for it and went for Nick Peen, but pretty much everybody saw Saka's fake handoff there, and it wasn't the first time that he's done that. And you're going to see that a lot from Delran because Saka is a mobile quarterback for his stature. He's almost like a David Oravets type. He's not as tall as David Oravets is from Kingsway, but he does allow himself to really come off as an unobstructed figure. Meanwhile, he's picked up, I believe it's 700, 800 rushing yards as a quarterback this year and over 100 attempts, just like Tariq Moore. This time, though, Mary gets the jet sweep, gets down in front of the Overbrook sideline, in front of the pylon, or in front of the first down marker. It is inbound, so the clock runs. They are short. Ref on the near side signals third down. It'll be about a yard short. Very close here. And with Delran now switching up their offense in drive number 2, could be something where they just run the halfback up the gut, something like Nick Peen, just trying to find any space in the Overbrook offensive line. And again, Overbrook is a Group 2 school that plays a lot of Group 1 schools. Meanwhile, Delran, they're a Group 2 school that plays a lot of larger schools. So they kind of have to be a little bit more adverse in terms of their scheduling and who they end up going for. Saka with a keeper up the middle. That was a great execution by Delran, and it picks up a first down. Just a great opportunity to really stick it to the man that time. As Delran ends up picking up a first down. First and 10. And hold on here. Delran will call a timeout with 47 seconds left in the first quarter. Here from partly cloudy skies in Burlington County. This closes off our 4-game weekend. Closing it off in Burlington County. We'll take a quick break. 7-0 Delran. Here from Delran High School, I'm Dan Wilkins. Ryan Sieber producing today of Rowan University Sports Cam. They send Justin Mary Jr. in motion on first and 10. Got an option play, tripping up over the middle, but another gain of 8 or 9. A great carry to Anthony Yates that time. That will be short of a first. It'll be a 9-yard gain, as that looks like that could be the end of the first quarter. They've got 30 seconds left. Delran burning their first time out of the half. And they will walk it off the field. At the end of the first quarter here in Delran, it's been a fantastic start. Not as much of a ringer as we maybe predicted it to be, but Delran with a 73-yard passing touchdown to Justin Mary Jr. to open up the scoring. After one here in Burlington County, it's the Bears 7 and the Rams 0. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back in just a moment.
For the first quarter.
Delran 7, Overbrook 0. Saturday afternoon football, rare Saturday afternoon football here in Delran. First time in 10 years Delran has hosted a Saturday afternoon game. Hand off to Peen, and he finds a gap, finds a plenty good gap. And Nick Peen picks up a first down. Plenty good that time for Delran, being able to move the sticks to start the second quarter. They had a bang to start the first with that 73-yard touchdown to Justin Mary Jr., but this drive has been a lot more methodical. It's taken more time off the board. It's a lot more typical of what you'd expect, where Delran might just dominate you by getting first down after first down after first down, and it's just kind of like you have to sit back and watch it happen. You can't really do much about it, and right now Delran has a good chance of going up 2 scores here 14 yards away from the end zone. Saka drops back, has a lot of time, and he dumps off a pass that's complete on the left side, gets it for about 9 yards. And again, another constant gain as the pass is caught to Micah Davison. Second and 5. So my estimation was a little bit higher up. They're lined up at the 9. First down marker is at the 4-yard line. After that, they'll drop the sticks, and we'll have first and goal. But the sun fading in and out of the clouds this afternoon, just about 55 degrees today. Most folks in fall and autumn attire for the first day of November. Here's Saka over the middle. He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Delran. 9-yard touchdown, Vinny Saka, as the mobile quarterback continues to impress as he puts another 6 points up on the board. And the Bears lead by a dozen and a baker's dozen now, 13-0. 9-yard rush by Vinny Saka.
Number 18, Shane Polina for the extra point.
Polina will go on for the PAT. Kick is up and good. So the Bears now lead this one 14-0, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Rams will be able to attack. Just right now, not really having anything go for them, and I think that, you know, part of what's hurting the Rams right now is just Delran's consistency. Being able to really impress on both sides of the ball, holding Overbrook to a couple of yards on each drive. And honestly, the fact that Overbrook has scored now, or excuse me, Delran has scored on both drives after being called back for penalties. Let's take a look at this play one more time here. Saka, again, 9-yard rush I just love how he takes this one here. In the shotgun, sends the man in motion, but then a quick snap, and he doesn't really do much there, just a quick draw, and he finds his space up the middle, and he puts himself in the end zone for 7 points, with the Bears now leading 14-0. Of course, if you remember from last year, we were supposed to be here for a playoff game versus the Delaware Valley Terriers last year on November 1st, and then a piece of our equipment broke, and we had to leave, and that was so heartbreaking. I thought I would make it up to the Delran folks by coming out today on Saturday, since we couldn't get their home playoff game last year. But of course, Delaware Valley had to travel a lot farther than Overbrook did from Pine Hill in Camden County. Delran to kick this one off with 10:30 left in the first half. A little squib. This one's going to be received at the 30, and now will return by Overbrook. Gets it up to the 37-yard line, so the squib pretty much successful, holding Overbrook to a 7-yard return, as that was picked up by number 86, Nicholas Duvall, the freshman. Duvall led the return that time, and now Overbrook's got a first down, looking to have a little bit better odds, a little bit better luck here in their third drive of the afternoon. By the way, out-of-town scoreboard from Atlantic County in South Jersey Group 3. Mainland leads Ocean City 15-7 in the third quarter. Ocean City had a kickoff return for a touchdown to open up the second half. We have updates on Gloucester and Lower Cape May and Camden Eastside West Effort. We'll let you know. Look out here. Bailey got sent to the ground. Marshall Edwards on the tackle. They had to be careful about that forward progress there to make sure that he stayed on his feet to avoid a personal foul. We saw that last night, and that personal foul actually ended up being pretty much the nail in the coffin for Pennsville. One of their linemen suplexed the running back, and it cost them 15 yards. Shalleck got into the end zone, and that was their go-ahead touchdown. So, especially in the playoffs, the referees, they are going to be probably very stringent about their personal fouls. If you send somebody to the ground after the whistles are blown, you're probably going to get called for it. Moore takes it himself on the left side. He's got a little bit of space, lets it fly. This one's deep, and it is caught. How about that in double coverage? Overbrook comes up with it. No, it got picked off. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. In double coverage, Delran comes up with an interception. It was hard to tell from the far sideline, and Overbrook now trying to plead their case.
Apologize. Pointed the wrong way there. Looks to be complete
Oh,
by the Rams.
are you kidding me? They're making me look like a fool out there. Oh, my goodness. I got a PA guy in one ear. I'm looking at my eyes, my ears, and everything is deceiving me this afternoon. So I was right the first time, Ryan. First down, Overbrook from the 30.
That's going to bring up first down for the Rams.
That was an impressive catch, though, on the far side of the field. Looked like A.J. Powell brought that one down. Bailey gets wrapped up. I was going to say, I didn't see anybody around there that looked like it was intercepted, but what I think the confusion was that the referee pointed the wrong way, which meant that a lot of Delran folks thought that it was picked off. Meanwhile, he meant to point the other way for a first down. So my apologies for the confusion. 2nd and 11 here. Overbrook looking for their first score, and that was definitely a statement play to put Overbrook in good position here. But that's what's happened with Overbrook the last 2 drives. They've had a good statement play to get a first down, to get 20 to 25 yards, and then they've just fallen out flat. 2nd and long. He gets taken down at the 30, the 29, gain of 2.
Number 13, Joel Brimshaw was in on the play. Number 11, Justin Mary. That's going to bring up a third down.
Third and 9. Oh, jump on the defensive end. Number 26, Liam Finn, gets called for an offside, and that'll be 5 yards for Overbrook. By the way, we have an update in West Deptford and Camden Eastside. If if Delran wins this game, regardless of who wins this game, they will play the winner of West Deptford and Eastside. West Deptford leads 10-7 over Camden Eastside with 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. So that'll be the game that we'll be basically flipping back and forth between, because West Deptford and Camden Eastside, that has direct implications on this game today. And the winner of this game plays the winner of the Eagles and the Tigers. Axel Bailey on the left side, up to the 10-yard line. That'll be plenty good for a Rams first down. So Overbrook moving the chains, having another stick-by-stick drive like Delran had. Again, Delran's 2 scoring drives were like night and day. The first one took only 2 plays. The last one took 12. And this one for Overbrook definitely looking like it's more of the methodical kind. 7:27 left in the second. First and 10 from the 11-yard line. Bailey on the left side. He'll get a couple of yards out of that one.
Brought down by number 13, Joel Grimshaw.
And we also have an update on Gloucester Lower Cape May. That's also in this bracket, the 5-4 game. Gloucester, the road team, leads 13-7 early in the second quarter. And by the way, if you're curious, if you're a Delran or Overbrook fan and you want to get updates on West Deptford Eastside, I'm going to try to report them as I get them. But our good friend Brian Tortella is on the ground in West Deptford today. If you need your fixins for South Jersey Group 2. 2nd and 9. Moore takes it himself, wrapped up, and brought to the ground. Great tackle by Delran's defense, coming up big. Number 33, Alex Kennard. And that puts Overbrook in unmanageable territory, 3rd and about 20 yards. All the way back to the 20-yard line. That is a huge stop by the sophomore. A huge bright spot on this Delran defense.
3rd and 19 for the Rams. Ball spotted at the 19-yard line.
By the way, in South Jersey Group 1, Point Pleasant Beach leads Riverside in an upset watch, 29-8 at the halftime break. Moore drops back on 3rd and long, fires a pass over the middle, it's caught, finding a way, and into the end zone. Touchdown Overbrook. A.J. Powell on 3rd and 20 converts. And the Rams are on the board here in the second quarter. And that just took a lot out of this crowd here in Delran. Looked like that they were going to have a great defensive stop. Kennard had a fantastic defensive stop to set Overbrook up at 3rd and 20. But Moore with a low-hanging pass, a line drive on the slant that time to A.J. Powell, moving left to right, puts himself in the end zone. And the Rams make this a 1-score game halfway through the second quarter. They will attempt a 2-point. Overbrook doesn't have a rostered kicker. Moore is not going to get anywhere with it, though. The 2-point gamble fails, but they didn't really have much of a choice. 6:17 left in the second quarter. Ryan, we have a replay? Yep. Let's load that up. Let's take a look here at what Overbrook was able to do, because just really the 20-yard pass by Tariq Moore was kind of a shock to everybody, considering the stop that Delran made the play prior. You can see there on the left side, look at that defensive mismatch right there. Powell cuts to the right, keeps a spot open, and Moore's pass barely gets off the ground. You know, any lower, and that's hitting off of a defensive lineman's head. But in that situation, Powell was able to come up with it and put 6 points on the board for Overbrook. Again, Tariq Moore, that really versatile quarterback. He's only 5'8", but the senior coming into this one, that was his 18th career touchdown. The big thing about Tariq Moore is he does not get picked off a lot. That's why when we had that bluff on an interception, we thought that Delran had gotten a pick. That's what made it so surprising, because Tariq Moore across 2 seasons and 111 pass completions has only had 5 interceptions. His ratio is great. 18 touchdowns to 5 interceptions in his career, not to mention 1,500-plus passing yards. That's a good problem to have for Tariq Moore, is the fact that he does not get picked off a lot despite this strong Delran defense. But that could very well change. Overbrook waiting a lengthy amount of time on the kickoff here, making sure everybody's in stride. Delran has been in formation for a little while now. Ref standing over the ball here. I think the referee's telling him, hey, you got to get in formation. A bit odd there. We'll kick this one off from the 40. 6:17 in the second quarter. It's the Bears 14, the Rams 6 here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Closing out our 4 games in 4 counties weekend. This will be returned by JMJ out to the middle. Gets a couple of blocks, and he's free. He's gone. Nobody in sight. No flags to report. And Justin Mary Jr. with a kickoff return touchdown all the way. Bears on the board again. Talk about a response and a half. Justin Mary Jr., his second touchdown of the day, and this one for 80 yards on a kickoff return. The Bears 20, the Rams 6. That was like a Cordarrelle Patterson return there for Justin Mary Jr. He didn't really hug a sideline right away. He had to maneuver through the blockers, didn't have an immediate opening, and Polina going on to kick the extra point. It's up. It's an odd kick, kind of a looping Ephus kick, but it's good. Delran 21, Overbrook 6, and man, what a good play there by Justin Mary Jr. And we have the replay, we'll get it to you. Just fantastic stuff. And again, Justin Mary Jr., he's now going to have about 150 all-purpose yards because he picked up the 73-yard receiving touchdown. Now he's got an 80-yard kickoff return touchdown. Let's take a look at that replay. Didn't have much on it that time. Must have caught it at the end, but still, I mean, just if you go back, the good thing about YouTube is that it's not like you can't rewind the tape. You can just hit the backspace key on your keyboard a couple times and you can watch that kickoff return. But what I'm mentioning is that Mary found a space on the left side but didn't exactly hug the sideline right away. He was intending to cut back towards the middle and maybe even fade towards the right. And that's the art of the kickoff return. That it's one of the reasons why I don't watch the NFL a whole lot, because I'm like, you know, what are we doing with those kickoff returns? If they ever did that in high school, I'd have a fit about it. But Delran, 80-yard kickoff return, Justin Mary Jr., and the Bears lead this one 21-6. Just joining us, what a start. Delran to kick this one, up by 15. That's going to be a short hop. It bounces off of Overbrook. This is going to, oh, he gets tripped up. The grass monster takes care of him. And that return will be thwarted there as the return by Rashawn Jones is unsuccessful. And that is a huge trap against the Rams, lining them up at their own 12-yard line. Our good friend Tom McGurk is at the game today. Six minutes left in the second quarter. In West Deptford at the end of the first quarter, West Deptford leads Camden Eastside 10-7. Again, the winner of today's game will play the winner of West Deptford and Camden Eastside. We'll get those updates coming to you more as the game progresses. We've got a flag on the play. Rush up the middle. There was a flag in the middle of it. And as we mentioned before, no further updates on Gloucester and Lower Cape May. Of course, Haddonfield was the only team that advanced last night. 3 of those 4 games. Looks like too many men is the penalty. Either too many men or an illegal substitution. I forget what that signal is.
It's going to make it first and 15 for the Rams. Ball spotted at the 5-yard line.
Either way, it's a 5-yard penalty, and we'll go back to the 5. Main point is, though, the 2 games, the good thing for South Jersey Group 2 fans is that you can watch 3 games at once. by Gloucester and Lower Cape May, and then West Deptford and Camden Eastside. We'll continue to provide updates on the two games that are pertinent to this bracket. Left side, Moore with a rare keeper on 1st and 15 from the 5. By the way, no score update on Gloucester and Lower Cape May. Still 13-7 Gloucester in the second quarter. So the winner of Gloucester and Lower Cape May will play Haddonfield next Friday. And then the winner of this game will play the winner of West Deptford and Camden Eastside. And then when we have more general playoff updates, we'll let you know. Trips right. Moore on the goal line. This could be trouble. He gets out of it, but not for long. Yates, ball comes out, but he's out of bounds.
Picks up about 3 yards.
Looked like the ball came out as he was going out of bounds. It'll be third down. A good recovery by Overbrook for what it's worth. That drive could have been a lot worse after the 5-yard penalty, bringing them to the 5-yard line. In South Jersey Group 5, Rancocas Valley leads Hillsborough 7-0 in the second quarter. 3rd and 7. Under 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. They send Bailey in motion. Moore may look for Bailey. He breaks through the line. He's in trouble. Breaks through, spins, fires. Cannot get anything on that one. He might get a yard at best. 4th down, as leading the tackling that time for Delran was number 13, Joel Grimshaw. And now the referees are conferencing. There were several whistles at the end of the play, but no flags from what I could tell. Ball is going to be spotted at around the 16-yard line. We do have a penalty flag on the play. It's a sideline warning, so that does not negate any yards because it is Overbrook's first infraction. For sideline warnings, if you get a second, it's a 5-yard penalty, and if you get any further, it's 15 yards for each subsequent sideline warning. And if you're unfamiliar with what a sideline warning is, it's usually because a coach says a word to the referee that I cannot repeat on television. But in this case, the infraction yields no yards, and Overbrook brings out the punt crew for a 3rd time. Davison to return. Good snap. Overbrook taking a while to formulate. This one is going to be caught. Almost got lit up. He spins. Davison trying to stay on his feet. Not really going to get much of a return there. As Delran looks to close out the first half on a high note with 4 minutes to play from their 42. By the way, our schedule for next week on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. On Monday, we open up the junior college basketball season with a doubleheader at Rowan College of South Jersey. It's the Delaware Tech Athletics and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners in a doubleheader in a crossover between the NJSIAA Division II and Division III. The women's game kicks off at 6, and the men's game tips off at 8 for our first basketball games of the 2025 season. Matt Bauman will be on the call for the women's game. 1st and 10 from the 42. Low snap, fumbled. Delran falls on it. And one of the Delran linemen fell right in front of the ref. That looked like a little bit of a flop that time, if you ask me. But ball got popped out and returned, or picked up at least, by Micah Davison. Yeah, that was Daniel Lewis that went down that time. I don't know how you want to slice that one, but it's going to be a loss of 4. Knocking them back to the 46. On Tuesday, we open up our boys soccer playoff slate with a matchup between the Haddon Heights Garnets and the Collingswood Panthers in South Jersey Group 2 play. Kickoff is at 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday, November 4th. My 20th birthday. Roll out to the left side. He's going to get wrapped up, thrown to the ground. Peen was on the rush. Tackle was made by Zion Marshall, and a late flag emerges. Might have been some extracurriculars after the play. Referees are conferring. It's unsportsmanlike conduct against Overbrook.
That's gonna be unsportsmanlike on the Rams.
Looks like it might have been against Marshall, who. Yeah, that's difficult, but again, those penalties, they have to be called regardless of what you think about them. I mean, the rules have to be interpreted that way.
And that penalty be a
Automatic first down. That's a big shot against Overbrook here. First down, Bears. They would have been dead as a doornail if that penalty was not called. I think that would have taken a lot of wind out of the Delran sails. But instead, you're reinvigorating Delran sails here with a first down. They're now at the 31-yard line. And Delran really in a prime position here, already up by 15 points. Looking to really put a hot statement on this game before the halftime break. Saka drops back. He's in trouble, gets hit as he threw. No roughing the passer there. And the pass is incomplete. If that pass gets released a split second earlier, you probably get another 15-yard penalty there. But it's second down and 10. Roughing the passer at the high school level is such a difficult call just because it's not like how it is in the NFL where we have 20 different angles of when he gets hit. The referees, they can't slow it down. There's no replay review in high school football. So what they have to do is they have to just go off of what they see. They got one chance to throw the flag, and that's it. Speaking of flags, we do get flags that negate this play. That was a pass to Davison on the flat, but a false start against Delran brings him back to 2nd and 15. Stay tuned for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting halftime show, the DWB Archives program, presented by Harper Driving School. Over 4 years of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting experience in South Jersey sports media, we show you the best of the best highlights from those 4 years and over 600 broadcasts in South and Central Jersey. From walk-off hits to game-winning shots to crazy touchdown catches and much more, we'll show you the best of the best across this 15-minute halftime break so you can stay entertained while there's a break in the action. 2:33 left in quarter number 2 before the halftime break. A tight trips left for Vinny Saka and the Delran Bears. He gets wrapped up, tackled for a sack. And Overbrook getting themselves right back into this one. Sack made by Jayon Presley and Jaden St. John. Third down and a long way. First down markers at the 21. This is going to be a loss of 9. It's going to be 2nd and 24. Rather, 3rd and 24. Again, first down markers up at the 21-yard line. If you're a Delran fan, though, you think Overbrook converted on a 3rd and 20 for their first and only touchdown of the game. Why can't Vinny Saka throw another deep bomb downfield? Throw it to Justin Mary Jr. Get him his 3rd touchdown. Saka breaks through, he runs, he's ahead of the line of scrimmage, and he's got room, but he gives himself up short of the first. Looked like he was tripped up. He did not give himself up that time. It's going to be short, but that is a much more salvageable play for Delran. They're going to be at 4th and 4. I mean, that is miles better than the alternative, which would have been 4th and a country mile. Pretty much would have forced Delran to punt. But in a 21-6 game, it's going to be imperative that Delran puts an exclamation point on this, although they do receive the ball to start the second half. Again, you're watching coverage of South Jersey Group 2 playoffs here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Delran calls their second timeout of the half. We'll stay right here with just under a minute to play in the first half. Big thing here for Delran. Again, they received the ball to start the second half, but you have to consider the fact that Overbrook seems like they're knocking at the door, just waiting to make something happen. But as it stands, looking like a good start for Delran. We'll see how they can get it going. This broadcast is brought to you by Rowan College of South Jersey at Gloucester County, the premier community college of New Jersey. Visit rcsj.edu for academic information and rcroadrunners.com for athletic recruitment. This broadcast is also brought to you by Gray Fox Sports, premier sports photography right in your backyard. Visit grayfoxsports.net or Gray Fox Sports on Instagram for booking information. And also just to check out his fantastic work, Michael Taylor, great friend of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. They will try a field goal. Hold on here, now they're faking it. What in the world? What is happening here? They drew them offside. How about that? They drew Overbrook offside on a fake field goal. That was fantastic by Delran. You could see Colin Hugo jumping like a kid in a candy store. As we were coming back, it looked like they were going to try a field goal. That would have been a 37-yard attempt. And now they've got 1st and 10 after drawing Overbrook offside, as they basically bluffed everyone, myself included, as that was a hard count to defeat all hard counts, using the kicker, Shane Polena. 52 seconds remaining. Saka kicks Mary in motion. He's going to be in trouble, though. He doesn't have the ball. Vinny Saka keeps it. He gets inside the 10-yard line. And that is a first down, Delran. They are putting everybody under wraps today. Delran with a fantastic start in this first half as Saka goes incomplete.
Saka's pass attempted for Micah Davison, number 6. Incomplete. 2nd down and goal.
2nd and goal here. .36 seconds. 21 for Delran, 6 for Overbrook. Justin Mary Jr. with 2 touchdowns all-purpose, a 73-yard receiving score, and then a 80-yard kick return touchdown. That last pass was incomplete, but 2nd and goal rather, brings it to Davison, but he will get brought down, and no forward progress considering he was on his feet and still had clear possession, and now time called as Delran calls their final timeout of the first half. Delran up by 15 here from a beautiful Saturday afternoon at one of the most picturesque venues in South Jersey, Joseph Chinichi Stadium. We'll take a quick break. It's the Bears 21 and the Rams 6. Third and 12, 25 seconds left. Got to imagine if Saka doesn't get a score here, Polena might be coming out for a late field goal, which is what we thought was going to happen last time. Throw right side, tipped and incomplete. Heavy coverage that time for Justin Mary Jr., and Overbrook able to successfully break it up thanks to number 6 on the far side, Sharon Jones. Excuse me, DJ Lloydman that time. So this will be from the 12-yard line. Polena is coming out, and coming in to hold will be TJ Halley. Polena, 7 for 9 in field goals this year. This would be an attempt. Looks like, hold on here. Overbrook will call a timeout for a first half ice. That's their first time out of the half. We'll stay here. But this will be, how about this? Delran hyping up the crowd, going back to the sideline. This would be an attempt from 29 yards. Palena in his career, 14 for 18. That's better than some NFL kickers. He's 77%. His career long was a 37-yarder, so a 29-yarder is well within his range. And in his career for extra points, 82 for 86. That's 95%. For high school, that is gosh darn impressive. Shane Palena, a junior, will have yet another chance to give Delran a solid lead. This would be 24-6 going into half unless Overbrook has something to say about it. Again, Palena has only missed 4 field goals in his career, 14 for 18. Overbrook called the timeout to try and ice the junior kicker. Palena will go back. The junior running back, TJ Powell, to hold. From 29 yards, it's blocked. Overbrook will take over. And just the 5th missed field goal of Palena's career. That might be the announcer's jinx in full effect. It's 21-6 with 15 seconds left in the half.
If you guys have 50-50 tickets, you might want to take those out.
Overbrook will have a chance for 1 more or 2 more plays before halftime.
Because the winning ticket is a yellow ticket. And the winning number is 234293.
15 seconds left. Looks like they're in a kneeling formation because Overbrook, even though they will not receive the ball to start the second half, not willing to take any chances. So fans will get an early exit to the concession stands with 10 minutes to go, 10 seconds to go on the clock. As at the end of the first half, a passionate crowd tonight here in Delran showing up on the Saturday after Halloween for a November matchup between the Overbrook Rams and Delran Bears. It's the Bears 21 and the Rams 6 at halftime. We'll take a break and we'll be back in about 15 minutes.
You have that winning ticket.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization? Sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place, and we'll show up.
Okay, so apologies about that. Looks like we are back. Unfortunately, you missed the halftime program. We'll go over that in a bit of a truncated manner. But Overbrook with a line drive kick, and we've got whistles on the kickoff. Somebody wasn't ready. So we get started here in Delran for the second half of action. I think maybe, I don't think the ref signaled properly for them to go. Trying to figure out what the issue was. We'll see if it's a penalty or just a redo. Okay, so they will just re-kick it. But kind of just going off of what I was saying during the halftime show, that unfortunately none of you were able to see because we had issues with the with our Wi-Fi. But just saying, Delran has had an explosive offense. And Overbrook's had a little bit of a more methodical offense as well. I mean, they've had one score, a 20-yard touchdown pass by Tariq Moore. While Delran, it's been 2/3 chaos and 1/3 methodical. 2 long plays by Justin Mary Jr., a 73-yard opening touchdown, and then an 80-yard kick return. It's picked up by Justin Mary Jr. This time he's going to get wrapped up, and he'll get taken down at the 30. So he won't get his second kickoff return score, but Delran does start the second half with possession at their own 30-yard line. So again, apologies that you missed the halftime program, but luckily you didn't miss any action on the field. We just recapped what we talked about with, Delran and Overbrook right now being a little bit at odds with how Overbrook is running their defense. Delran just seems like that they are right now almost unstoppable. First down after first down, pickup after pickup. Even if they don't get a first down, they'll at least get something to the point where you can't really stop them right now. They send Mary in motion for an end around. Now they run an option play. It's Peen. He's got a first down, and he's got plenty of room. He gets ripped down by the face mask, and that flag comes in. That's a face mask against Overbrook. Delran's definitely not happy about that one. Peen had his helmet turned halfway around the world. And that'll be a defensive face mask.
Make that a horse collar. Penalties on the Rams.
Yeah, that's not a horse collar, that's a face mask, but called the same. That's a big pickup for Delran. Overbrook making a crucial mistake there. Not the first time they've had a personal foul against them. That'll be a big first down for Delran. Ball will be spotted at the 15-yard line. So about one play, and you basically go all the way across the field, and you're in the red zone. Third quarter here in Delran. It took just one play to get inside the red zone. A lot of blocking on the line. Not going to get anywhere on that one.
Peen again on the carry.
Peen was on the carry. So how about a hot start to the second half for Delran? Picking up a huge rush by Nick Peen and then 15 yards added for the face mask. Second and 11 after a 1-yard loss. A full backfield for Delran. Handoff, Peen. Gets hit hard, ball comes out. Peen will fall on it. That was a close call. It's going to be another loss, but Delran struggling with ball security there as the ball popped out. That was pretty much a direct result of Overbrook hitting pretty hard there. Overbrook's defensive line came in, didn't really have a lot of mercy for Peen, and forced the ball to come out. And now that's going to light a fire for Overbrook. That's going to light something where Overbrook's going to say, okay, if we hit him hard enough, the ball's going to pop out. That could set a precedent for Overbrook on the defensive line where they might be hitting their Delran rushers a little bit harder. When you're down by 15 points, you might need a lucky break to get yourself back in this game. They send Davison in motion, passes caught by Mary, cuts to the right, breaks a tackle, gets spun around, stays on his feet, hit from the back. Now that ball pops out. Second straight fumble. Overbrook says they have it. Overbrook emerges from the pile, and they got it. Overbrook fumble. And a huge recovery by the Rams. First down. Delran, even on a perfect day with perfect conditions, they fumble back-to-back plays on a hard-hitting Overbrook defense. And kudos to the Rams as they force 2 fumbles, the second one successfully retained in the defensive arms. Overbrook takes over with 9:49 left in the third, down by 15. Over the middle. By the way, in South Jersey Group 1, Salem leads Kip Cooper 20-0 at halftime. Salem seemed like they had a dominant first half, so it's looking like if everything holds, it'll be Salem and Glassboro on Friday night in South Jersey Group 1. That'll be a game that we might want to watch just because we don't know how many options we will have based on our current connections for Friday night. 2nd and 8. Rolling out, Moore dumps off a pass. It's caught by Powell. Doesn't get too far on that one, though, and definitely doesn't get as far as Overbrook would have wanted. It'll be 3rd and mid-range. 3rd and 6. Third down and mid-range. Overbrook lining up. And Delran in a tight formation. They send Powell in motion. A bit of an off snap. Moore pump fakes. He's hit as he throws. It's tipped and it's incomplete. Ball got through a lot of hands that time. And the intended receiver was Powell. But it looked like it was broken up by a combination of Nick Peen and also on the line that time, Joe Chiacchio. That'll be 4th down and 6. That's a big break for Delran. Obviously, Overbrook did not give themselves any favors on the last drive on defense with the face mask, but the fact that they were able to hold Delran off the board by forcing a fumble is a big step in the right direction. However, you have to follow that up with some points if you're going to be serious about getting back in this game. That was a nice punt that time that was returned. Davison spinning around. He'll get taken down at his own 45, so they keep Delran out of opposing territory on the punt return, keeps them to about 5-6 yards.
The 47-yard line where Bears will take over 1st and 10.
So Delran starting their drive for the umpteenth time in good field position from their own 47. And as it stands right now, Delran can kind of already start to shift into clock management mode. I don't think that they should do anything too spectacular in terms of throwing the ball deep downfield, mostly because you're in the driver's seat. You're up by 15. Even if you don't score here, take 5-6 minutes off the board and really put Overbrook in a bad situation. Rush for 2. This is where some of the larger schools, even though Delran's not exactly a large school, it is Group 2 for what we're talking about, Overbrook might as well be a Group 1 school. They are classified as Group 1 in a handful of sports, depending on the allocations, but Overbrook is definitely on the small end of Group 2 schools. The thing about them is that they operate like a Group 1 offense. And what I mean by a Group 1 offense, if you've ever watched a Group 1 football game, it moves slowly. Rush, 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 only pass if you need to. Now, there's exceptions to that, but that's almost the prototypical blueprint for a Group 1 offense. And that kind of sets up a situation where, you know, these teams, they take so much time off the board that some of these games end up being lower scoring than the higher group games. The Group 4s, the Group 5s, they're going to score more because those quarterbacks have deeper receivers. They have more trust in passing the ball. And Group 1 football, it's a scrappy product. It is an unvarnished, almost unpolished product that makes for really good football when the combination is right. There's a lot more blowouts in Group 1 football, but look at high school football in general. There's blowouts everywhere, no matter whether the school has 3,000 kids or 500 kids. There's always going to be blowouts in high school football. But today, I wouldn't call it a blowout at all. 21-6, only 15 points. Overbrook just needs like a pick and 2 scores, and even only a pick and 1 score. A million different ways you can get into the end zone. 3rd and short. Peen's going to get a first down, and then some. Taken down hard at the 35. Tackle was completed by Zion Marshall. First down for Delran. They're at the 35. Good rush by Peen to really stay solid in there under heavy pressure.
Keep working, big boy. That's right. What he said.
6 minutes left in the 3rd. Delran up by 15 points. Delran first down, still driving, looking to go up by 3 scores here on their home field. Saka fakes it for the umpteenth time. He does it again. He's going to get a first down. He gives himself up. First down, Delran. First and 10 from the 25-yard line. So Saka with a 10-yard pickup, gave himself up. And it's one thing that a quarterback like Saka, a mobile quarterback, really has to do well is be able to slide while also kind of trying to draw contact from the defense. As here comes another rush. What a rush by Delran, able to get themselves up to the 5-yard line. Alex Kennard, first down, Delran. Again, I mean, this just feels like a first quarter drive for Delran. They had so much momentum at the start of the game. It seemed like it stalled, and now it's right back into the middle of things. Alex Kennard, the sophomore, gets them up to the 5. Can't really stop Delran right now. First down after first down after first down. It's going to be very tough to stop the Bears. First and goal. Sticks dropped. Saka takes it through the middle. Touchdown, Delran. His 2nd rushing score of the day. And the senior quarterback puts an exclamation point on this one in the 3rd quarter. It ain't over yet, but Delran certainly making it harder and harder for Overbrook to have a chance. 27-6. With 4:15 left in the third, Polena to kick. This one's up, it's low, it's off the post, and it's good. He doinked it. Polena doinked it off the post, and the PAT is successful. It's 28-6. Delran. We'll take a quick look at the replay here. Just what a good rush by Shane Polena. That's the first time we've seen that in a while, a doink on the PAT. Wish it was like a college football game where we had a microphone taped to the post. Colin Yuko seeming like he was upset with the referee there. I'm not sure over what. But that makes it a 22-point lead. Referees are conferencing here in the end zone before the kickoff. PAT looked good to me. It bounced off of the left post and then went through the right post, so it was good. Again, not the most traditional or the safest way to do it, but I'm sure we all try to do it in Madden sometimes intentionally. We try to bank a field goal off of a post, try to doink it in. Polena getting ready for the kickoff here with Delran now up by 22 points, 28-6. Looking like that they'll have most likely a date with West Deptford. Let's actually check in on that game, West Deptford and Camden East Side. And it does look like that if Delran wins this game, they'll be traveling to West Deptford. It's West Deptford up 24-7 at halftime over 7-seed Camden East Side. So again, Delran traveling to West Deptford, a lot more favorable than traveling to Rumsden Fairhaven like they did last year up in Monmouth County. And then when we have an update on Lower Cape May and Gloucester, we'll let you know. Good kick by Polena. Returned at the 15-yard line, going to try to get through. Not really going to have anything going for him there. He'll get up to the 28-yard line. And Overbrook will be stopped to start their first possession. So Lower Cape May has taken the lead over Gloucester 14-13 with 34 seconds left in the third quarter. The winner of that game, Lower Cape May and Gloucester, will play Haddonfield. Haddonfield won last night in a double overtime winner over Willingboro. And as we mentioned before, West Deptford up 24-7 at the half over Camden East Side. So the most likely scenario is that the next round will be Haddonfield versus, I mean, the Gloucester Lower Cape May game is such a toss-up right now because it's only 1 point in the third quarter. But you can probably predict the second half of the bracket to be Delran at West Deptford at this time. Over the middle, look out. They bring him back a little bit. Whoa, we've got some extracurriculars here getting together. Tariq Axel Bailey and Liam Finn. And that could definitely spark up these teams a little bit. Second down, they're going to call forward progress at the line of scrimmage. And Overbrook definitely wanted a flag that time. I don't really blame them. I think that probably, I mean, if he went down, it definitely should have been, but he didn't go down. That's the issue. Again, we'll let you know by Monday where we'll be going on Friday and Saturday, November the 7th and the 8th. This one's passed. Left side, it's incomplete. A.J. Powell gets blown up. Justin Mary Jr. picks up the tackle. Again, Justin Mary Jr. for these smaller programs, getting it done on both sides of the ball. 2 touchdowns and an offensive breakup as well. 3rd and 10. A very tight trips right formation for Tariq Moore. Drops back. Moore is going to push his way forward, and he will valiantly get himself up to the 35. A good effort there by Moore to really push the envelope. And that now sets up an interesting predicament here. 4th and short, with this being a 3-possession, 22-point game, you really cannot afford to punt. And it looks like at this time, Tariq Moore and company with head coach Frank Wilczynski kind of heeding that warning here. 4th and short, Overbrook might try to draw Delran offside. For a moment, you could hear a pin drop here in Delran. Send a man in motion. Handoff over the middle, ball pops out, but Overbrook, A.J. Powell saves the day. That ball popped out of Axel Bailey, and A.J. Powell was right on it. So not only is it a fumble recovery by Overbrook, they advance the ball forward, and it's a 1st down. The emotions in this home crowd are swinging like a roller coaster. The ball came out, everybody stood, everybody cheered, and then A.J. Powell fell on it, and then the reality set in that that's going to be a 1st down for Overbrook, but still time for Delran to close the defensive gap here, up 22. On a brisk Saturday, November afternoon, on the day after Halloween, as a rush. And I think Delran is definitely returning the favor with some hard hits. They send Bailey on his feet. They keep him on his feet to avoid anything. That's the one thing that I'm noticing is that after Overbrook forced a fumble on Delran, they forced 2 fumbles on Delran. One was recovered by the defense. After that, Delran's been hitting a lot harder. I think after getting that turnover, I think Delran kind of got woken up and they said, hey, we need to start hitting them like they're hitting us. An eye for an eye, if you will. 2nd and 6. Line to gain is on the opposite side at the opposing 46. Right now they're at their own 48. 2nd down and mid-range for Tariq Moore and company. Low snap, handed off, right side. He's got some space. He breaks through, and he gets taken down from behind. Another big tackle by Delran, but yet another big gain by Overbrook on the rush by number 21, Rasir McQueen Futch. 1st down, Overbrook. 45 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Still plenty of time, but Overbrook, especially at the end of the 3rd, not looking to rush things more than they can handle. Clock runs again. We're now down to our last 30 seconds of the 3rd. With Delran up 28, only scoring of the 3rd was a 9-yard rush by Vinny Sacca for Delran. Quick pass, left side, to McQueen. Flag comes in from the back. Delran certainly excited about the call, thinking that this is a penalty against Overbrook. Clock stops with 14.4. It's going to be a hold on Overbrook. And those mistakes is stuff that Overbrook cannot do. They cannot afford to make those mistakes at this juncture in the game. You're down 3 scores. You're down 22 points. If you want to give yourselves a chance, that face mask from earlier is not going to help. The unsportsmanlike from earlier is not going to help. And this holding call on a drive that you have worked so hard to put yourself in a good position in, that's also not going to do any good for you. First and 20. They're facing the sideline, but they're running out of time. This will end the 3rd quarter here in Delran. At Joseph Chinichi Stadium, it's the Bears 28 and the Rams 6. 12 minutes before Delran looks like that they'll win their 2nd playoff game at home in a row, with a date with West Deptford set, or not set, but about 12 minutes away from being set here in Burlington County. We'll be right back. 3 quarters down, 1 to go. Bears up by 22. 1st and 20. Back here at Delran, I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ryan Sieber on the production. Watching coverage of South Jersey Group 2 playoff football here this Saturday afternoon. Tariq Moore, pass is blocked, and it's no interception that time, but still cheers from the Delran crowd for a great pass breakup by number 55, Sam DeSilva. The cherry on top would have been an interception, but on 1st and 20, they can certainly settle. They can certainly settle for a pass tipped for an incompletion with Moore deep in the backfield. Ball spotted again at the 35-yard line as we ended the third quarter with a first down, and then the last play was called back for holding. Delran up by 22. They can definitely afford to give up a score, but it's not something that you would like to do. With Delran definitely needing a couple of stops here with Bailey on the rush. This is going to move the pile of 22 players forward out to the right side. It's going to be around the 28-29 yard line. We'll see where this is officially spotted. Overbrook lining up, 3rd and about 14. First down markers all the way up at the 16. Whistles. Delran called out somebody moving there. Looks like on the offensive line. It's going to be a false start. Good detection that time. Third and 19. They're on the 34. 11 minutes to play before Delran may have a date with West Deptford. Dropping back, liner pass caught, left side. That's going to be well short with Axel Bailey, Marshall Edwards on the tackle. Feel like you got to go a little bit deeper down the field there. I mean, Overbrook trying to stay in this game down by 22 points. Just feel like in that scenario, they just got to go a little bit deeper there. You have to be willing in a playoff scenario to gamble. You have to be willing to gamble. You have to be willing to put everything on the line. You have to be willing to, really put yourself at risk in these situations. And that's just where Overbrook is not right now. They're 4th and long. They could have gotten way more yards if they ran a play where they send a go route deep down the field to somebody like Powell or Bailey. Right side, Moore, hit as he throws, up, tipped down, his own receiver batted it down, broken up as well by Nate Martyr. And a great pass breakup brings up a turnover on downs against the Rams. And that could be, with even 10 minutes left, a nail in the coffin. So 1st and 10, Delran. And it does look like that day with West Deptford on Friday night is going to be even more likely. Zamir Davis picked up his 3rd touchdown run of the day, and they now lead Eastside 30-7 with 5.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. So a 23-point lead for West Deptford against the 7 seed Camden Eastside. And after the 3 seed in Group 1 was upset last night, right now in Group 2, the 3 seed seems like they are ruling the day with a chance to put this game really away if Delran puts up another 6. Hand off, Peen breaks through. Nobody home. 1 man to go. Can he beat him out to the end zone? He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the pylon. Touchdown, Delran. No flags. 58-yard touchdown for Nick Peen. And we mentioned that Delran could put the game away with 6 points, and 1 play later they do so in swift fashion. 34-6. And athletic director Anthony Godotti should start putting in the GPS West Deptford High School for next Friday. as the Bears will look like they will take a 29-point lead. It's up, away, and good. Palena gets it, and Nick Peen beats out everyone, emerging from the pile for a 58-yard rush to the end zone. It's the Bears 35 and the Rams 6 in what has been the least competitive football game of this weekend that we've covered. We'll take a quick look at that before the kickoff as the Bears with a huge lead. Whew. Great stuff. I mean, really, he only had one guy on that last run. DJ Lloydman looked like he was the only guy that could have stopped him. And even then, if you stop Peen at the 1, 2, 3 yard line, you're not preventing Delran from getting into the end zone. They're just too good right now. Delran West Deptford next week is going to be cinematic for how good that game's going to be. Delran 35, Overbrook 6. Here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, closing out a quadruple header. 4 games, 4 counties. We were in Middlesex County on Wednesday night for Manchester Township and J.P. Stevens at a crossover game. We were at Kingsway on Thursday night, Pennsville on Friday night, and we close out our travel at Delran this weekend. Returned. Overbrook with a little bit of space, but the last line of defense takes him down at the 36. Good opportunity for Overbrook to at least get some consolation points here. I don't think that they'll come back, but I mean, anything's possible. Delran could still make a lot of mistakes. There is a lot that can happen. You really never know. And we don't have too many matchups right now, but again, looking at the other South Jersey brackets, it's looking like it's going to be Glassboro and Salem. And then Shalleck won last night. If we can get, I don't know if I have an update on Paulsboro yet. Paulsboro leads Woodbury 30-0, so that does look like it's going to be Shalleck and Paulsboro. Next Saturday, ball comes out. Overbrook looked like they fell on it. It'll be second down. So, yeah, Group 1 we'll get an update on Salem, see if we can get anything there. Versus Kip Cooper. Yeah, it's 26-0 in the third. So definitely looks like Group 1 is pretty much set. Glassboro, Salem, and then Shalleck and Paulsboro. Group 2, again, looks like it's going to be Delran and West Deptford. And then in the Gloucester Lower Cape May game, our friend Dave Weinberg is there. Lower Cape May has now taken an emphatic 2-score lead over Gloucester. They now lead 28-13 with 6 minutes left in the fourth. Moore drops back. A couple of linemen fell down. Now Moore's going to try to break through. Evades them. He stays on his feet, still breaking through. And he cuts towards the middle. That'll be enough for a first down, it looks like. If not, he's very close. As Tariq Moore, with an incredible effort to stay on his feet, that's a first down for the Rams. So as it stands, it looks like that it will be Haddonfield versus Lower Cape May, and then Delran at West Deptford, both for Friday night, with both of those home fields having lights. Group 3 is already set. Mainland at Burlington Township, and then Pleasantville at Cedar Creek. So 3 Cal teams in the mix there. That pass is incomplete. Put too much on it on the right side. Pass intended for Lloydman. For South Jersey Group 4, might be presumed that Winslow will beat Cumberland. They would play Shawnee. And then Northern Burlington would play the winner of Toms River East and Millville. And we do have a live stream of that, not us specifically, but there is a live stream of that game. I'll try to get a score update when you get a chance. 2nd and 10, Bailey. Forward progress here, look out. Whoa, they got a late throw down here. And a flag. That might be against Delran, though, because Bailey got dragged down very late there. And really all that matters when it comes to those penalties is who was the instigator. Going to have an unsportsmanlike against Delran. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. Even though the game is almost settled at this point, again, that's a mistake that Delran can't make. They can't make that mistake now, and they certainly can't make that mistake next week versus West Effort. They cannot make those mistakes, because what happens if you make that mistake in a tie game, in a one-score game? That could change everything, and these players, they have to be taught to stay disciplined for all 48 minutes until the clock hits 0-0, and even after the clock hits 0-0. 8 minutes, 5 seconds remaining, a 15-yard penalty against Delran for an unsportsmanlike conduct call on a late throwdown there.
Let's go defense! Let's go defense! Number 1 on the carry.
Good rush by Bailey.
8-yard gain.
So for Toms River East Millville, that game hasn't even started yet. NJ.com had it listed at 1 o'clock. It's not going to start until 2, so we won't have an update on that until well later tonight. But Group 5 is set. Toms River North at Atlantic City, and then Kingsway at Southern Regional. Second and 2. Handoff. And that's going to be wrapped up.
Number 1 again on the carry.
Bailey's going to be short of a first there. It'll be 3rd down in mid-range. A little bit more favorable than mid-range, but it'll be 3rd and 3. Third and 3. First down marker is at the 19-yard line, so if Overbrook converts, they'll be in the red zone territory. This is going to be close. 6.5 minutes to play.
And that's going to be a first down for Overbrook.
First down for the Rams. And timeout called by Delran. They use their first of the half. We'll take a quick break. It's the Bears 35 and the Rams 6 with a half of a quarter to play. We'll take a quick break. Delran up by 29 points. Considering that we broadcasted their only regular season loss of the year versus Burlington Township, as the rush by McQueen will get about 5 yards. He's going to still be on his feet. Wow, look at this. Look at this pile drive forward. Wow. And he stood in bounds. That is a valiant effort there by Rasir McQueen. And it'll be 2nd down and short. Mentioning, though, that our next broadcast will be Monday in a matchup between the Delaware Tech Athletics and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners in JUCO basketball. Women tip off at 6. Men's game tips off at 8. Then Tuesday, boys soccer in the first round of the playoffs, South Jersey Group 2. It'll be the Haddon Heights Garnets and the Collingswood Panthers from Collingswood High School at 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday, November 4th. Yet again, I'm working on my birthday, but it'll be 2nd and 4. Good snap to Moore. Moore with a keeper. Going to be short. The first down marker at the 9. Definitely not going to have a shot there. Point is, though, Wednesday, we'll have crossover football Wednesday and Thursday this week. We've got the Pemberton Hornets and the Clearview Pioneers at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, November 5th, and then Camden Catholic at Holy Cross on Thursday, November 6th. Again, we'll try to let you know by Monday, Tuesday at the absolute latest where we will be for our second round of playoff action. For our Delran fans, I apologize, but it's unlikely we will be at West Deptford next week. That pass is caught, and it's going to be a touchdown. Overbrook. They'll salvage at least something as the freshman puts up 6 points on the board, number 86, Nicholas Duval, and it makes it 35-12 here late in the fourth. A little bit of solace there as it's his second career touchdown, his first since August 28th versus Cinnaminson. I was saying before, though, before I got interrupted, I said, I kind of interrupted myself. I said, I was worried that I was starting to turn into a bad luck charm for Delran, but it seems like they should be fine. They'll go for two. Moore, keeper, on a fake snap, toward the goal line, and no good. They're 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions, and it's 4:36 to play in quarter number 4, with the Bears still in front very, very handily, 35-12. We'll keep it right here. Again, with about 4.5 minutes to play. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends at Dog Pro Wrestling. The Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators are New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment. There's our ad banner. Visit dawgprowrestling.com for information on booking and future events. Also, by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, 614 Lambs Road. Shot of the Joseph Chinichi Stadium from earlier in the season. I do like filming the B-roll here just because it's such a, I mean, just with the fall foliage, if we zoom out the camera, I mean, the trees, I love them. It matches the yellow trees and the yellow and brown Delran Bears. Almost feels like it was meant to be. It's a picturesque place. Even though we're not even in a press box, we are one with the fans because of how small the press box is. For all sports, Delran is one of my favorite places to be. It's very easily accessible. Anthony Godotti is a fantastic athletic director. He's somewhere down there. There he is, standing next to one of his players. But again, there's a reason why Dan Wilkins Broadcasting is able to thrive, and it's a lot of because of the access from great athletic directors like Anthony Godotti. So hopefully we can come back to Delran for a basketball game. Oh, that ball tipped up, and Overbrook's going to recover. Because it was touched by Delran, that's going to be recovered by Overbrook. Wow. That just took a hop and a half, and it gives Overbrook another chance here. So the reason why that's Overbrook's ball, despite the fact that it really didn't go 10 yards, is because Delran touched it, but then Overbrook was able to recover it. So once it's touched and once it's loose, it's a live ball. And it might have gone the full 10 yards. I couldn't tell exactly, but it basically bounced forward off of a Delran helmet, and now Overbrook has the ball with 4:35 to play. An interesting phenomenon here. Handoff to McQueen, right side. Not going to get very far with it, and it looks like it's actually going to be a loss of at least a yard. Second down.
Brought down for a loss of 3. Going to bring up 2nd and 13.
Second and 12. Just about 4 minutes to play. If you'd like to make a contribution to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, we don't get paid for about maybe half, 80% of these games. This is one of them. If you'd like to make a contribution, our Venmo is at DW Broadcasting. No spaces, no hyphens. As here's a rush. Flag comes in from the back on the rush by Bailey. Excuse me, McQueen also had the carry. Martyr had the tackle, but we do have a penalty flag. We were mentioning, though, pretty much everybody on our crew, that's a hold against Overbrook, Pretty much everybody on our crew is a high school or college student. I myself, I'm a second-year college student at Rowan College of South Jersey in Gloucester County, the Roadrunners. And then my producer, Ryan Sieber, he's a first year at Rowan University in the famous Rowan Sports Cam program. But we have some fantastic individuals who have been working with us that could really use the support. My producer from last night, Vincent Focht, he is the station manager at Camden County College. Also has some work with ESPN 97.3 down in Atlantic City. Our guys have gone on to do great things on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, and if you'd like to make a contribution, again, it's at DW Broadcasting. These broadcasts are free to watch, not at all required, but if you'd like to make it happen for college students like us trying to break through in the broadcasting industry, it will be fantastically appreciated. Moore dropping back. He's in trouble, but he dumps it off to the tight end. Duval stays on his feet, lowers the shoulder, and he's down at the 42. Nicholas Duval looking like quite a big and stocky freshman. He picked up a touchdown, a floating touchdown at the far corner of the end zone to put Overbrook back on the board. And he now picks up at least something out of it, and it looks like it's going to be 3rd and long here, getting at least some consolation after the holding call. Third and 14. First down markers across the 50 at the 44. Moore fires a pass, tipped up, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver was Lloydman. Broken up by a combination of Giovanni Marshall-Edwards and number 5, Nick Peen. Again, even though this is a Group 2 team, with how many people are on the sideline, Delran and Colin Huco still have a lot of trust in their guys to play both sides of the ball, even in this situation where you're up by double-digit points, up by 23 specifically, 35-12. Fourth and long, 2.5 minutes to play. Moore speaking with his running back, and he moves to his right shoulder. Moore drops back. Line doesn't hold up for that long. Deep ball for it all. Out of the hands of Edwards, and it's caught. Running away, and Overbrook is back in with another touchdown. Don't look now, but they've scored 2 scores in 2 minutes. As McQueen Futch with a 58-yard, with a 58-yard touchdown pass. Whether you want to call it garbage time or not, Overbrook puts up 12 points in a short amount of time after recovering the onside kick. It's now 35-18. Only takes a couple of mistakes, right? I mean, that wasn't even bad coverage. That was great coverage by Giovanni Marshall-Edwards that time. Just slipped right through his hands, and McQueen was right behind him to be the recipient there. Overbrook will go for 2, as pretty much is commonplace on every possession that we've seen from them in the 3 games that we've covered Overbrook this season. Rolling out right side, that pass is incomplete. Would have been short of the end zone anyway. And it looked like, first of all, running in behind him was Nicholas Ferreira. And with 2:23 left in the fourth, it's 35 for Delran, 18 for Overbrook. We'll take a quick break. That's the replay of the 58-yard receiving touchdown that went through the hands of Giovanni Marshall-Edwards and into the hands of Rashid McQueen. As Overbrook will try an onside kick, or at least I would imagine they would. I'm not confirming for sure, but they did it last time and it worked. You got to imagine Delran's going to be ready for it. And you could see Delran there in a tight kickoff return. They don't even have anybody past the 30, so no surprises here. Onside, rolls through, and Delran falls on it. So after making that mistake and costing them 6 points because of it, Delran will be just a couple of snaps away, it looks like, from victory formation. But they just have to hold on to the ball. Got a man down, it looks like. There was a Delran. It didn't look like there was a lot of hard contact there on the kick return. And there's a Delran player that is on a knee, obstructed from view right around the 40-yard line. So the Delran athletic staff will attend to him. Took his helmet off there. Hopefully it's not a non-contact injury, because that, I mean, really can't be anything else other than that, unless it's a cramp of some kind. But you're already down Jack Jordan, one of your best linebackers, with a broken finger. And we'll see what comes of this. 2:23 remaining in quarter number 4. We mentioned we have 2 more football games going on next week. We have crossover action between the Pemberton Hornets and the Clearview Pioneers on Wednesday, November 5th at 7 o'clock. And then Thursday, November 6th, it's a tune-up game in the non-public circuit between the Camden Catholic Irish and the Holy Cross Lancers, 6 o'clock from, well, Holy Cross is right around the corner from Delran, and Holy Cross's mailing address is in Delran. So I need to cover a Holy Cross versus Delran game at some point in any sport, because that's always fun. Getting up and walking off under his own power is the sophomore Nate Martyr. Luckily, he seems to be okay. He wasn't the one that fell on the ball on the kickoff, so I wasn't too sure what was going on there. First and 10. Delran, after getting the onside kick recovery on the offensive side, they will start their drive at their own 42. Delran has 2 timeouts remaining. Overbrook has all 3. Tight formation here, expecting a run. And now Delran calls their second timeout. So the game that was moving pretty swiftly in terms of time now seems like it's coming to a grinding halt. We'll take a quick break. Still 2.5 minutes to play, and Delran burning their second timeout of the 4th quarter. Delran 35, Overbrook 18, here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ryan Sieber. Delran just a few snaps away from victory formation after returning the onside kick. They'll just need a couple of runs and need to keep the ball in their hands. Connor. Oh, wait, did the ball come out? Oh, boy. Let's see here.
That's a fumble recovered by the Rams.
Oh, no. Oh, no. This cannot be good. Overbrook is going to have 3 straight drives on offense after being down by 29 points. Oh, my goodness. We said as long as they can hold on to the ball, and then on the very first play, Overbrook forces a fumble. And even though this game probably should be over, probably should have been over 15 minutes ago, Overbrook's got another chance. 35-18. First play here, they rush, shockingly. Bailey. Gonna go forward. Overbrook's got to be mindful of the clock for how long he should stay up. Got to imagine, I mean, why are they not no huddling here? You only got 2 minutes. If you're serious about getting back into this game.
It's a 3-yard gain. It's going to bring up
Second and 7. They're taking a lot more time off the clock than I think anybody should be comfortable with. Except for Delran, of course. That gives them less time to score. 2nd and 7, Moore rolling out. He's got a man open, but he doesn't throw to him. I don't even think he saw him. Moore in trouble, rolling through, still on his feet, taken down from the backside. Moore was able to scramble out of the pocket and get something, and now Overbrook is forced to take their first time out. Think about it here. Overbrook is 0 for 3 on 2-point conversions so far. If they get 8 points, it's 35-26. That is still a 2-possession game, even if Overbrook scores and gets 8 points. That is where Overbrook kind of runs into a problem, is that if it was an 8-point game, that would be fine, but it's still a 2-possession game if you score 8 points. So that is going to be where things will have to boil down here for Delran, because it's 35-18. If you do the math, that's a 17-point lead, and you got to think, if Overbrook makes one of those 3 2-point conversions, all of which I would argue were doable because they had at least one man open or they had a hole in the offensive coverage, this game will be a lot different. But right now, Delran still probably feels a little bit confident, even with Delran's late and most likely arbitrary push. Moore in the shotgun. Delran trying to jump the snap. Moore dropping back. De Silva broke through the line. That pass is caught. That's going to be a first down, and he got out of bounds, it looks like, with about 1:20 left. No huddle here, but the clock not running because the ball went out of bounds after the completion. 1:21, Moore having to work through the line. Doesn't really have a lot of space, fires, and it's incomplete. Pass was short, intended for Powell. Minute 14. Surprised at how cool and collected Overbrook seems. When this is a 2-possession game, time is not on their side at all. With 2 timeouts, pass is incomplete over the hands of Powell. Back behind him was Nick Peen, the defensive back. 3rd and 10. And to think that with 10 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, Delran led 35-6. And now Overbrook has put up 12 points. Imagine if they had a couple extra minutes on the board. Oh, we had a technical issue there. Gotta put all that away. My apologies. Here's Moore. Took himself out of bounds. My apologies there. Don't know what happened. Our laptop's been having issues all day. I apologize. 1 minute now. First and 10. Rams, right side, Moore, points downfield, gets strapped behind, on his feet, gets taken down, but he is, I think he was in bounds, but it was a first down, and he got himself inside the 10. And now Overbrook calls their second timeout, 51 seconds remaining. I mean, this just feels, I mean, I hate to put Overbrook down, but again, This is still a 2-possession game. Even if you score here and put up 8 points, that would make it 35-24, and that would make it a 9-point game. I don't see a world where Overbrook scores that amount in a minute. They would have to score 8 points here, which they haven't done. They're 0 for 3 on 2-point conversions. And if you remember when we saw them versus Pennsville, in a game that they won 22-21, they missed 2 2-point conversions. They don't have a kicker. They'll have to go for 2, and Delran knows what they're getting themselves into because they've blocked it before. But if you're Colin Huco, if you're a Delran fan, send your flowers to Shane Polina. 5 for 5 on PATs, and he's the reason why this game is going to be 2 possessions no matter what. That's going to be ripped back. He throws it away. Chance for intentional grounding, and he throws it. The flag is thrown for intentional grounding, and that will put Overbrook in the ground. Intentional grounding against Overbrook, at least from our eyes, looks like that's the call. That is correct. Intentional grounding, there'll be a 15-yard penalty, and it looks like that will be the final nail in the coffin against Overbrook. Such a valiant effort for them to come back, but it would have been a 9-point game if they scored 8. By the way, we have, this will now be second. This will be second and goal from the 29. See what they've got here. Trips left, as they've done so many times this afternoon. More has time. Line breaks away. Right side, throws it deep, way up there, and the wind picked that one up and out of town. Incomplete. Let's run through updates. Let's run through the updates in South Jersey Group 2. There are 2 games that are pertinent to Delran. The first one is Gloucester and Lower Cape May. Lower Cape May did beat Gloucester 28-13, so Haddonfield and Gloucester will be the semifinal on Friday night. And then from our good friend Brian Tortella, we have in the 4th quarter, West Deptford still up 30 over Camden Eastside's 7. So it's most likely that Delran will travel to West Deptford Friday night, November 7th. That'll be a rush, and it looks like Overbrook, with a rush in that situation, will concede. And we'll tell you this, Delran friends, even though we will not be at West Deptford on Friday night, you can catch the game on WDHS TV on YouTube for free. I'll try to communicate that information to Anthony Godotti so that you guys can watch the semifinal game. Last play of the game, last play for Tariq Moore as a high schooler. It is almost picked off in the end zone. A flag comes in. And this game that couldn't get any clock. I guess they're just going to let the clock run. The ball hit the ground with about 2 seconds left, but it's not going to matter. Delran lining up at the 50. They're just going to let this one go. And the Delran Bears will advance to West Deptford tomorrow night. The call was a hold against Overbrook. The penalties declined, and that's the ball game. Second year in a row, the Delran Bears have themselves a home playoff win as they beat the Overbrook Rams despite a valiant effort at the end, 35-18, the final score tonight here from Anthony Chinnici Stadium. For the first time in 10 years, Delran hosts a Saturday home game, and this time, despite holding Overbrook to just 6 points in the first 4 quarters, Overbrook had a comeback, and Delran was able to shut them down. Player of the game's got to be Vinny Sacca. What a performance he had, 2 rushing scores, a couple of passing touchdowns for his own regard. How about Shane Polina keeping it at a 2-possession game? As Delran will go to West Deptford tomorrow night, or rather next week, for the next round of South Jersey Group 2 playoffs. And with the bracket decided, our phones will be ringing, we'll be sending some emails, and we'll be getting ourselves our playoff commitment set for next week. We'll turn this camera back around. We say hello once again here from Anthony Chinnici Stadium. I'm Dan Wilkins. Yeah, let's talk this over. I mean, Delran, 35 points. Looked like this was going to be more of a blowout than it ended up being, but I think as well, you do have to consider the fact that Overbrook just had a little bit too much too late. And I think that if Overbrook starts that comeback in the 3rd quarter, we have a genuinely exciting 4th quarter to look forward to that really could have put this game well on its head and could have been an incredible comeback. Just like how Overbrook was down 21 points to Pennsville in week 2 of the regular season and then won that game 22-21. I was getting deja vu flashbacks in my head that entire time. But Delran comes in. They beat Delaware Valley in their home playoff game last year 42-7. This game definitely was not that cut and dry. Delran definitely showed some flaws, some mistakes. I think the ball security definitely was not there tonight. Overbrook came with 2 fumble recoveries. And then at the end of the day, Vinny Sacca seemed like he was the anchor holding everything together. Nick Peen had a great rushing performance. Thought the defense held up really well, but Delran definitely does have some things to work on going into West Deptford, because West Deptford is a team that if you have mistakes, West Deptford will expose them, and then you have to figure it out on your own on how to get that fixed. West Deptford's got a lot of hard hitters on the defensive line, and these are both Group 2 programs that will really go head-to-head. I don't know how Delran's going to do next week, but on the road versus a tough and gritty West Deptford team in the Patriot Division, that's going to be a really fun matchup. For Overbrook, I really liked how Tariq Moore was able to come through and really work through adversity. Even though Overbrook was really out of it for 75% of the game, they still found a way to really put themselves in the forefront in the fourth quarter and still really never give up. They get an onside kick recovery, and they score 10 points in 4 minutes. And then by that time, the game was pretty much over, but they still had their folks feeling good about it. They still had a high hope about it, and they just couldn't get it done at the end of the day. Overbrook finishes their season 6-4. But Delran, how about it for them? 5 straight wins. They're up to 9-1 on the campaign, going into a likely matchup versus West Deptford next week. That'll be all for us on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Finally, an end to our 4 games in 4 counties weekend here on DWB. Don't get me wrong, I'm extremely grateful for it. Thank you all for tuning in this weekend for an exciting playoff triple header. We saw a great 23-14 final in Kingsway on Thursday, 21-16 in Pennsville last night, and then 35-18 tonight here in Delran. But from our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rail, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rosso, my producer, Ryan Saber of Rowan University, I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you on Monday for JUCO basketball between the Delaware Tech Athletics and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. Delran knocks off Overbrook in the first round, 35-18. Have a good one, folks.